Hello, this is Victor, storymercedes.com. This is another video for Randy in Pennsylvania. Okay, Randy, so I'm going to check the readings right now, see where we are with readings here. Both mass airflows are installed. The original and replacement unit. This is the replacement unit that came in. And it looks okay. I mean, you know, just the screen on the back is missing, but ADS module, the suspension module, is removed at the moment because I haven't checked it out. It is not working. So right now we're going to start the car. Okay, all right, pardon me, because it's going to start the car after it's been sitting for quite a little bit. Let me just put my computer facing me like this so we can check the readings. Okay, so let's start it up for the first time after a few days. It's a lot of sun. Ignition's on. Check engine's on, but that's for whatever reasons. I actually need to put some gas in the car. This is like very low gas. So this is the cold start. As you can see, RPMs are going right direction. Everything is just fine. And here we are, pretty much stabilized in terms of RPMs. Okay, so the readings now. It's going to be probably a little longer video because I'm gonna have to probably pause it just so I can warm up the vehicle because this is cold start. So we're looking at 725, 709, and there on the instrument cluster we're looking at somewhere around the same, like 700, pretty steady. So that's good. More or less close enough. Now we have the first LH1, that's the primary bank, which is on the passenger side. That's a primary bank of the engine. So we got mass airflow reading 17.8, that's cold start, injection timing, and the voltage, which is great. Let's go for the second side. This is the passenger, the other side. So we see very close reading. This is really nice. That means it's very even. So this LH1 is the replacement mass airflow sensor that came in. It reads pretty good. Again, they could be one could be more, the other one could be less. That's okay. So we are pretty good here in this department. So now I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to warm the engine. Okay, so we have only 32 degrees, which is nothing. And it's still, like I said, it's still cold start. As you can see, it's just been started, this car, and we cannot see the oxygen sensor readouts because they're not hot yet. So we can't get that to see what's going on. You see 50% and more or less stationary and half a volt. Alright, so I'll pause this. I'm gonna warm the engine up now. Okay, so while it's warming up, I'm gonna show you a couple of other things so we don't waste time here. So this is how engine runs. It runs pretty good considering to how neglected it was, but it runs pretty nice. I mean, if I put the camera down on the radiator, there's a little bit of twitch, and yes, there is a little bit of just a slight shake, but it's very minor. You can barely see it. You can maybe, camera does not pick it up. Let's see if I can put something on it. As you can see, it just moves a little bit, but you know, it's been neglected for so long. Ignition cables are all too, so you can expect it to be what it is. But it runs 1000% better where it was. Inside the vehicle you don't even feel it. And also engine mounts are really low, so you know that's another thing to consider. But anyway, so this is what I'm gonna show you. I have another V12 here. This is all factory stock. Nothing has been changed on it. It has a low mileage, 29,000 miles. I want to show the suspension height to go by, so you have some sort of the orientation of where suspension has to be, front and back. So this way, when you do the suspension work, you can sort of gauge where you should be in terms of the height. So I got measuring tape measure rather, or whatever, center cap, somewhere center cap, the center of the cap, and here we're looking at around 14 inches in the back. Let's go to see your suspension, where we are here with your suspension. So center cap, and we are right around 14. So the rear suspension seemed to be factory height in your car as well. Now looking at the fronts are usually higher on all of these cars. I don't know why they did it like that, but it is. So again, center cap, the height, I'm looking at about, come on now, it's not focusing. Today is a very sunny day, a little windy, but we're looking at 15.5 up front. Okay, this was never altered, and original tire sizes. So it is 15.5. 16-inch rims on this car, so original height on tires and rims. Now looking at yours, center cap right there, and here we have what we have here. Come on, focus. We're looking at 16, so we're like about half an inch higher than normal, more than 16 actually, 16.25 approximately. So the front could be dropped a little bit. It is a little, it's way higher looking. I mean, if we go from far away, you know, your height, rear is okay more or less, but the front is a little higher, again, like about an inch higher. If it could, I mean, it could be dropped by moving the by changing the height on that height valve linkage, so it can be lowered. So that's how it is basically. That is in terms of suspension. And also ADS module is out. The car needs to be driven, so all suspension levels line up, but I think it could use like about an inch drop on the linkage. So the linkage, you can play with it later on whenever I just realized that the camera stopped recording, so I have to add to that first video. Okay, so the readouts when the engine is warm, that's what I wanted to show. LH1 primary bank, so about 700 RPM. See on the gauge here it's about 700 as well, so I did pretty good here in terms of lining it up. Acceleration. Okay, so primary bank, this is the mass airflow that I received in mail. So it reads pretty good. 1.5 is where it usually sits at idle, but again, this car didn't have adaptations done, so I'm gonna have to do adaptations on it, get some gas, fresh gas, and then I'll go for adaptations. Now 2.9 injection timing, 15, 14, around say 15 is an average on the kilograms per hour, which is okay. This is about, yeah, more or less close where they're supposed to be. Now let's go to the to the secondary bank, secondary bank of the engine. See, this is a little different, close, but you know, this is a little lower reading. That's your original mass airflow. Injection timing is close, but again, I have to get adaptations done on this car. I didn't do it yet. It has to be driven. Now oxygen sensors. Let's go to primary bank first. So looking at the primary bank right now, temperature is right around where we want it to be. Primary bank 50%, which is very nice. Voltages from 675 down to 168, so the oxygen sensor reads more or less happily, I can say, because the spread is huge, and that's how it works. 50% range is actually also pretty good. I'm liking that. Let's go and check the secondary bank. This is your secondary bank. See, secondary bank is a little not as happy as another bank. See, it's 36%, a little lower. Oxygen sensor is reading pretty good, so I'm going to do adaptation on it, because as you can see, this is the adaptation value. Wait a minute, this is LH1. LH1 is the one that is not really happy. It's a primary bank, it's not super happy. So I have to do adaptations on this. Well, anyway, I have to do adaptations on both because they're at 0 right now. So see, this is factory spec. Then you got 0 adaptation for idle speed. So this one, secondary bank, something happened here. I don't know, I reset it, but it just went to -1. I don't know why, but I have to rerun the adaptations anyway. That's a given. Secondary bank is a little more happier. So right now I'm going to, like I said, drive the car. I'll need some gas because we have very low gas. I'll get some gas in it, and then I'm gonna drive it a little bit, get adaptations done, because it must be driven vehicle, and then we'll take it from there. Basically, that's what I wanted to show you. This is how it runs. Engine mounts are flat, we know that, so they have to be replaced. And given the fact that this poor car was so neglected, now here's the problem here with the wheel. We look over here, it's very visible actually. It's like worn out, and I don't know what happened here. Maybe it was dragged or something, or like, I don't know. So I'm gonna spin the wheel so you'll see. It's like oval. Let me hold the camera steady. As you can see how oval it is. You get the idea. That's where that noise, as you can see, it's not round. So this is where the noise is coming from. Now also this wheel just falling apart. So I don't know how. You see, it's like the threads are coming off. It's like crazy. I don't know about highway run on these kind of tires. This is not really nice. I mean, it's falling off. So this is the area right here that is just dips. It's like threads are falling. I mean, I don't know if this is gonna be safe per se to drive long distance on this kind of tires. Short distance maybe, but long distance I'm not sure, man. This is sort of scary. They're the wrong tires anyway, but The rim, it's hard to say because I can't really spin it fast, and I can't really show it on the phone too. Let me try to hold it like I gotta prop it against something, and then the rim seems to be like, I don't see like humongous bends or anything. Oh no. Hold on over there. I think there is a bend there too. Either it's the bend or yep. I think it's the bend. Yeah, I think there is a bend over there. I don't know if it's gonna show up, if you can even see it on the camera, but it's like, I don't know, maybe from the other side. Let's see if I can hold the camera like this. Maybe we can see it. That could be why. I don't know. I mean, I can't. You know, this has to be done on the machine, like visually. And I think there is a bend, big bend. So you have to check these rims before you put tires on them. Might not make sense. If you can straighten them out, great. If not, then another set of rims. Alright, so I'm gonna cut it quits. I gotta keep moving. So this is the idea. This is where the noise is coming from, and the wheel is like left and right because of small diameter tires plus bends and plus flat spots. Okay, so this is what we determined here. In terms of suspension, I mean, it's relatively okay. I don't see anything missing. It appears that somebody replaced brake lines over there. As you can see, the brake line looks new. This one right here. So that is a good thing. So yeah, is that? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's not a brake line. I'm sorry. That's not the replacement. I'm sorry. My bad. This is the brake line right here. This is the brake line. I'm sorry. I can't see too well from behind. I have to move around. But again, that might be. Oh, that's a strut line. Return. So. Okay, so this is basically where we are. The brake line, yeah, the brake line looks okay. The rear brakes are shot. The front one's sort of okay. They cut through a little bit. I drove it just now, so you see, it becomes a little shinier. But the rear ones they're done. I mean, you have to do the rear brakes. They don't even stop, I think. Okay, so that is this. This is this infamous switch over here. This one. To me, it appears that it triggers, okay? Because, well, the car is lifted right now, so obviously it's going to be touching. But still, rear tires are also kind of bold, so, well, you know the situation with tires that they have to be dealt with. Okay, so this is basically all for now, so you know what's going on here with the tire, and we'll decide what to do with it. All right, thanks, Victor at RestoreMercedes.com. Thank you for watching.